Okay. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Love Calgary Speaker Series. I'm your host, Peter J., and very special guest today to kick things off into gear, Ken Goldstein with the Goldstein Group. Ken, thank you for joining me today. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, Peter. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, thank you. Very excited to get things rolling. So I know we have a couple topics we want to touch base on, but before we do, can you just give everyone a quick intro, who you are and a little more about what you do?
Sure, I'd be happy to. My name is Ken Goldstein. I'm the managing director of a company called the Goldstein Group, started in 1989. And the main thrust of what we do, it's a consulting company, but the main thrust is we work with companies on behavioral profiling, which means we help them when they're doing recruitment and retention, and we help them determine if employees, current and future, are going to be a fit.
Great, so let's dive in and let's talk about the 3 words that everyone can use for better communication.
Well, actually, I want to flip that, Peter. I'm going to give you 3 words that people should use.
Shouldn't use.
Shouldn't use.
Okay.
One of the things that I'm often asked to address is within an organization, poor communication. A lot of people think there's great communication within their company if they simply say to do something, and then if it gets done, they think they're great communicators. I do a lot of exit interviews, Peter, and one of the things that always comes up why they left was poor communication. So on that, I'm going to give you 3 words that I would hope everybody can eliminate from conversations. The 3 words are but, try, and fine. And here's why. When you're in a conversation with somebody, and for example, if I'm talking to you, Peter, and you've given me an explanation about something, why are we here today? And my response starts with, that's great, Peter, but what I've done is created a negative situation. I'm actually being contrary to what you're saying. So instead of saying but, what I suggest people is change the word to and. Thank you, Peter. That was a great idea. And if I could, might I suggest the following? It changes the complexion of the conversation from adversarial to positive. The second word is try. If somebody asks you to do something and your response is, I'll try, basically what you're doing is creating a 50-50 chance of doing it. What you want to do is create, again, a positive environment and a positive resolution to whatever you're doing. And instead of I'll try I will. I will do this. Be positive. As soon as you try, you're setting yourself up for the potential of not doing it. And the third word that we all use is the word fine. Somebody asks you, how are you? I'm fine. Well, the problem with it, it's vague, non-committal. And the reality is, and having once been a school teacher, I can tell you that fine is actually an adjective. And we constantly use it as an adverb. So if somebody asks you how you are, I'm good, I'm well, I'm awful. But don't say fine, because again, it's non-committal. So those are 3 words. If you could simply, in every conversation, just try and eliminate them. You're not always going to eliminate them. I'm sure there are times when a but is good, but by and large, try and remove it. Try and remove the try. Be committed to a conversation and answer a question other than with a vague, I'm fine.
Those are really great examples of how to communicate better without using those words. So let's jump into the next topic here, Ken. And you wanted to chat about external costs versus internal costs with changes. Let's get into that.
So something I get my clients to think about is what is the cost, not the fiscal cost, but what is the cost to clients or patients or whoever you're dealing with when there are changes within an organization. We spend a lot of time replacing people in the effort to make things better. But sometimes when we replace people, there is an external cost. I can tell you this. Yesterday, I was actually in a bank where I deal with a lot. They'll remain nameless. I walked in and every teller was new. And I'll tell you, it caused me a moment because part of what I do is about relationships. A lot of the work, it's all relationship based. And I like going into the bank. Yes, I know I could use the ATM, but I find engaging with people, it's what I do and I enjoy it. And there was a moment of anxiety when I walked in that branch yesterday. I looked around and there wasn't a single person I knew. So costs are not always measured fiscally. They can be immeasurable sometimes. So think about it. Don't make change just for the sake of change. Have a plan. Understand. And also, if you're going to do that, the patients or your customers should understand a change was made. So there's no surprise.
Okay, but changes are inevitable, right? So what would an example be of how someone could approach that change of a new employee? What would you like to see in that situation?
People, what's the first thing you're going to ask is, hey, what happened? Where's so-and-so? What happened? The new employee might not have a clue. And I think part of that, the transition is, to your point, is I'd like an answer. Oh, Peter's moved to a different branch. No, I'm good. But as soon as I hear, I don't know, again, you're ratcheting up the anxiety. Same thing when you walk into your dental office, your doctor's office, even your lawyer. If the person at the front, your first point of engagement is somebody you don't know, and remember, everybody is building relationships. They should be, and I think it's incumbent on the owner to give them permission to give an answer. Now, the answer can be scripted, but there should be an answer. Oh, Peter, as I said, has moved to a different branch. Peter's retired. What can I do for you? See, now you've turned it into, I want to be the new Peter. But if you leave it hanging, there's that moment of uncertainty. And again, remember what I've been saying is everything is relationship based. Everybody you work with, you're in a relationship with it. Whether you care for them or not, you are in a relationship.
So do you think first impressions really matter?
Absolutely. I believe that perception is reality, and in today's society is probably more prevalent than ever. So when you meet somebody for the first time, you're absolutely sizing things up. If you say you're not, I think you're fooling yourself. Remember, most people don't want conflict, although there are certain profiles that love conflict. Most people don't want conflict. Most people always appear to be in a rush to get who knows what done. So the easier you can make the interactions, the better it is.
Let's touch base on types of listening.
So let me break down some listening skills for different kinds of people for you that might help. When you do a profile, you break people into one of four categories: a high D, high I, high S, or high C. And these are people, high Ds are people that are about risk and reward and challenge, high I are people that need people, high S are people that need information, and high C people are people about rules and regulations. So within each of those, they have their own listening styles. So let's start with the high D. These are people that are about risk and reward and challenge. They're very selective listeners. And what we mean by that is, even though you think you're having a dialogue, you think you're having a conversation, ultimately what they're going to do is try and push you back to their agenda. So you may spend half an hour talking about something with a high D, and before the conversation is over, I can assure you they will take it back to where you started 30 minutes before. They're not interested in your point of view. A high I, these are people that are all about people. They love people. They need people to be energized. They're also poor listeners. And the reason they're a poor listener is because they're so keen to be engaged with people, they will talk over you. They will answer before you've completed your answer. So they're always going to jump in. The high S person is a person that's information-based. They just need information before they can make any kind of decision. So their listening style is one of verbatim. They take in absolutely everything. They store it until they need it. The high C person is a person about rules, regulations. The way they listen, Peter, is that they listen critically. They're just looking for, is it a yes or a no? Is it right or wrong? So if that gives you, that can help you, if you can figure out who you're talking with, how they're going to listen to you. And it's just, again, another little tool in helping build relationships, better communications, things like that.
Awesome. Is there Anything you want. Okay, awesome, Ken. Thanks for all that valuable information that I think business owners can use, but also we can use all in our personal lives. So great info. Before we get going, can you just let everyone know how to reach you and contact you?
Sure, Peter. People can reach me by phone. They can reach me by text. They can reach me through LinkedIn. And they can reach me through email.
Okay, awesome. Let's wrap this up. Great info for everyone to take it home. Thanks for being a guest today, Ken. And for everyone out there, thanks for joining us. This is an episode of Live Love Calgary Speaker Series, and I'm Peter J., your host, and I'll see you in the next episode.